In this quick video, I'm going to show you what the Band-Aid tool or the healing brush does. The healing brush, essentially, when you paint over the document, it samples around where you painted to try and fill in where you're painting. It's like the Content Aware tools, but it's freehand. So if I come over here and I select my Spot Healing Brush tool, then what I can do is I can literally click on each one of these zits and it will simply see the color nearby and try to match skin tones and paint over it. It could not be easier. That is what your Band-Aid tool does. Now, if you were to, and I'm going to bring these poor zits back, if I were to increase the size, then we create problems. And you'll see what happens. If I were to go now with the brush this big and try and click on her zit, I have a weird kind of mutation going on here because it sampled a bit of her lip, upper and lower, inside this circle because the circle is so big. So you have to be aware when you're working with this tool that it will, if you're not careful and don't control your brush size, it will sample colors and parts of your picture from areas that you don't want. So I'm going to shrink the brush size and I'm just going to click on it and it is gone. So we'll just get rid of all these again. Alternatively, you can also, if you're feeling lucky, you can use this tool and you can paint a straight line. So instead of clicking 5 times, I'm going to click and drag like so, and it still figures it out. While we're here, let's talk about the clone stamp tool. The clone stamp tool is another way that I could heal these zits. And the clone stamp tool works a little bit differently than you might be expecting. I'm going to increase the size a little bit. The clone stamp tool is a 2-part process. It doesn't work. If I just click it, it's going to go, you can't use it because the area to clone has not been defined. What's cool about this tool is that I can hold down the Alt key and it will select a section of the picture and then it will start painting with that picture from wherever I selected the clone source to be. So I'm going to take some of her skin color from up here by her eye and I'm going to paint with it. Now, do you see that there's a small crosshair following me as I paint? That is the area that it is copying from. This is real-time copy pasting using a brush tool. Another way to illustrate how this works is if I set the clone point as her eyeball, I can literally paint her eyeball in right here, and now she has a third eye on her forehead. In case you haven't figured it out by now, most of the things that I'm going to be doing here are probably going to horrify you, scare you, or really interest you, but you'll definitely never forget the time that we put a third eye on somebody's forehead. So your Band-Aid tool and your clone stamp tool are 2 ways that you can touch up blemishes on a picture, and it's a lot of fun to work with if you know what you're doing. So why don't you guys give it a try, okay? Grab some pictures from the internet and start using the clone stamp tool to either correct the image or to create an illusion that wouldn't normally exist.